So last time we had started the 11th book and we had just begun with few sentences. It's one of the longest books in Savitri, about 1500 lines in all. And it will take us at this rate at least 2 months to go through the whole. No problem. Okay, yeah. Because you are going to enter into the everlasting day, you see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Now, there are many mystical things in this book. And the problem is we don't have any access, any relationship, any contact with those mystical worlds. So all that we can do is have some kind of an imaginative understanding of what is happening over there. Beyond imagine, we can just kind of imagine, but to present the whole thing vividly, we don't have access to that at all, you see. So what we could do is only pick up phrases and try to understand and imagine what it might be or what it is. Beyond that, I don't think we can really live in the everlasting day, you see. Now, this is the most occult kind of a thing with which the canto begins, and in a certain sense, it is crucial, it is pivotal for the whole thing which is happening over there. See, as we saw earlier many times, that Savitri has cut a door through the void. That is the most unique thing that has happened. It is like a wormhole going from one region into the other region straight away, you see. That also means essentially the unity of the scheme with which the Supreme has brought out this creation. There is the Supreme, there is the Transcendent, there is the Cosmic, there is the Void, and they are not all isolated from each other. They are again connected back to the Supreme Himself. You see, they are connected back. It's not only like this, it's also like this, you see. They are connected back to the Supreme in both ways, you see. So, the discussion began, arisen beneath a triple mystic heaven. As I told you last time, triple mystic heaven stands essentially for Satchitananda. Why can't the writer simply tell us Satchitananda, arisen beneath Satchitananda? Instead of coining a new phrase, a triple mystic heaven, and putting us all into great puzzle. Why can't he say simply, arisen beneath Satchitananda? Obviously, it is not poetry. You have to have poetic rhythm. The meaning may be the same, triple heaven and Satchitananda, but basically, essentially, what has to come out is always the poetry. The expression has to be poetic. In fact, this is one of the best examples of the mystic poetry, the symbolic poetry. The language which is used by the poet has a kind of a symbolism which you can perceive, which you can feel, which you can kind of grasp intuitively. You can't go and touch. It's not mental formulation. He's not writing an essay in Life Divine to describe and explain all those things. You have to have sort of an inner perception with those things. Therefore, triple mystic heaven. But he has made it sufficiently clear, you see, what it is, you see. The seven immortal earths were seen sublime. Seven immortal earths. Home to the blessed release from death and sleep, where grief can never come, nor any pang, arriving from self-lost and seeking world, alter heaven nature's changeless quietude and mighty posture of eternal calm, its pose of ecstasy immutable. It is the quiescent Brahman who is expressing himself into an activity. Arriving from self-loss and seeking world after heaven nature's changeless quietude. Heaven nature's quiescence which is there, it is that which is changed by creating these seven worlds. And mighty posture of eternal calm, it is that which is altered, of the supreme quiescence of passive Brahman, of non-active Brahman, so to say, which has not come into time dynamism. Its pose of ecstasy, immutable. It is frozen there. So, the seven mystic heavens are the first expression, the seven immortal earths are the first expression of the supreme quiescent Brahman into manifestation. Into manifestation. That is quite understandable. But still, there is a bit of a puzzle. Why can't the writer simply say the seven immortal worlds were seen sublime? Why earths? That is more important. I can understand that in the transcendent you have created seven worlds, each world based on a certain principle, this principle, this principle, this principle, this principle is okay, perfectly understandable. And those seven worlds, then they can kind of reflect themselves into creation down below. But he says specifically earth, not worlds. The emphasis here is that these seven creations in the transcendent have a relationship with the mortal earth, a connection with the mortal earth, the earth where we live, mrityu loka, the world of death. Therefore, earth. They are not just they are not worlds for themselves there. They have also a connection with this world, with this earth. The seven immortal earths were seen sublime. Of course, mighty, beautiful, sublime. Home to the blessed, release from death and sleep. Now, it is that which makes the relationship with earth pertinent. Those who have lived here in the mortal world, those who have attained immortality, who have grown in the spiritual tapasya, who have risen to the immortal status, it is they who go and live in those worlds, and therefore earth. Where grief can never come. Obviously, in those earths, seven immortal earths, there can never be any grief, there can never be pang, etc., etc., all those things, you see. Arriving from self-loss and seeking world, alter heaven nature's changeless quietude and mighty posture of eternal calm. Yes.
Sometimes we put an equation of for the person, 7 earths. He said, according to ancient knowledge, it seems there were 7 earths before our earth.
7 suns.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, 7 suns,
No, 7 earths.
7 earth.
Yeah.
No, but no, not 7 earths. Now, as I told you last time, in fact, we are going to do that thing. The 7 earths are, see, one quick description in this book, page 333. Yeah. One quick description here I will give you. Possibly these 7 immortal earths are the creations, each based on the founding quality of Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. So each earth is based on each of this quality, each of this principle, each of this truth relationship which is present there. Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, or in our language, the physical, the vital, the mental, the supramental, then Sat, Chit, and Ananda, the triple mystic heaven. So they constitute 7 principles, 7 planes of consciousness as we call in 7 Doors Life Divine. So these 7 principles which are present in the Brahmic formulation, each principle is used to create an earth. The physical, the mental, the vital, each principle is used to create an earth, and therefore you have got 7 earths. The physical earth, the vital earth, the mental earth, like that 7 earths go on. Physical earth means that earth is imbibing the divine quality of the physical in it. It is divine quality of the physical here. The vital, the divine quality of the vital or life force in the earth. Mental, the divine mind which is present there. So each quality is kind of taken as the foundation for each earth. And therefore we have got 7 earths, 7 planes of consciousness, 7 earths, you see. And therefore they're all, of course, divine, sublime, you see, all along. Now, yeah, let us read. You can see that? Yeah, okay. Savitri has cut a door through the eternal void. I am taking this passage from here. And entered into the transcendent, into the realm of Satchidananda, of Satyam, Ritam, Brahat, the truth, the right, the vast. Satchidananda, I mean, see, it is expressed in 3 terms. Satchit Ananda, or Satyam, Ritam, Brahat, or Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, you see, like that. It's the same thing. Brahat, the truth, the right, the vast. There is a marvelous sun looking down from ecstasy sky. Her body quivers with eternity's touch. Her soul stands close to the founts of the infinite, Savitri's soul. This is about the Savitri. See. She observes the march of universal power in time, sees the harmonic order of this wide creation, world rising above gleaming world. Beneath this triple mystic heaven, beneath the eye of Satchidananda, rise 7 immortal earths. Planes are there that are the expressions of God's wide sleep. Earth nature undergoes a change and there is the breath of peace blowing through it. The lowest of these 7 earths is close to our earth. Yet it is a heaven. The physical earth, the physical principle, the divine physical on which the earth is based, of the 7 earths, is the closest to our physical earth. Mountains rise ridge on gleaming ridge, a piled temple stairs like the aspiring soul of man, even as from the top is heard a voice, a hymn of some far off remote, timeless seas. Around her, Savitri says, children of God's day, while she is going above like that, God's day, a glad, blissful multitude of eternity. The breeze is blowing with immortal fragrance. A great spontaneous utterance of immortal harmonies fills the listening ear. For Savitri, it is a lyric voice, a voice of the divine soul surging in divine sky. Now, of course, I am becoming imaginative poetic. Don't say that I got that experience. You see, I am just kind of fabricating. No, I don't know that. No. The divine sky. She sees not a faulty, but a brightly perfect nature in perfection's form. Perfect nature in perfection's form. So these are all imaginations. You can keep on talking like that, you see. Those lustrous ascending slopes of heaven aspired endlessly, they climbing realm upon realm and shining, soaring beyond each of sight. It was all joy, founded on some wonderful calm. Into those realms went floating up the spirit of Savitri, went floating up like an upsoaring bird achieved with the burden of delight. Okay. Now, what it means that you have got Bhu, the transcendental first earth, physical Bhu. It has reflected here in this creation and has created this material earth, the physical of our body. Same way, the vital has reflected itself and created the vital in this earth here. Same way, mind has reflected itself and created the mental earth here. Means all those principles which are present in those seven earths, each one has now got reflected in this earth here. It also means that, all right, so far the three earths have come down. The expectation now is that the remaining four earths should also come down in course of time. That is why all the seven earths are there. So we have to go a long way. You see, first we have to wait for the supramental earth to come. Then the higher earths are there, waiting to come down here. So it's a beautiful journey. You see, ahead of us. You see. So all those things will come down into this creation. That is why these seven earths are there. They are not there just for nothing. It is they who will come and manifest themselves in this mortal earth. Now, there is a further difference. These seven earths and our earth, by the way, our earth, this physical earth, in that little book, the mother, she happened to call it a significant center. A significant center. The phrase is a significant center. And it is that significant center which is really the spiritual basis of geocentricity of this creation. Not the astronomical geocentricity, but the spiritual geocentricity lies in this earth being a significant center. That is the real geocentricity, you see. So that is missed by people, and then they quarrel and struggle and all that kind of thing, you see. So the real geocentricity is that thing. Now what is it that makes this earth a significant center? The psychic being. The presence of the psychic being is there only on this particular planet. Nowhere else in the vast cosmic dimension. Nowhere. Not even in any one of the seven earths. It is not there. It is only here. So we are really very lucky, very fortunate, very we should be very happy also. See. It is the psychic being. What does that mean? Psychic being, of course, is the divine spark, divine presence himself in this creation, on this earth here. It is here, therefore, there is a possibility of evolution. The psychic being is the one which is actually carrying out the evolution of this earth. In other words, in none of these creations, none of these 7 earths, sublime earths they are, all right, but there is no evolution there. They are kind of frozen. Each one is frozen to its own type. Maybe it's divine, but fixed. It does not change. It is there like that. The evolutionary principle is what is there important here in the whole process of manifestation, and that is honor. And it is that which makes the earth a significant center. So when we are talking about the 7 earths, in fact these 7 earths are each divine principle embodying its own creation there, all world. In fact, perhaps this is not the end of the transcendental manifestation. It is not that there are only 7 earths, there are many other things also in the transcendental creation. It's a much vaster sphere, this one earth, this one earth, this one, but then there are many other things also present in the transcendental creation. It's not, it is inexhaustible. Now, of course, in the Life Divine, Sri Aurobindo says very clearly that our present attention is on this earth to bring down the supermind and make the evolution proceed from here in the grace of the higher possibilities of the spirit on this world, in this earth. He also gives a hope that if this happens, then it can move from earth to other places. All the other astronomical objects, what are they there for? Millions and millions and millions of stars and galaxies, countless. You put big telescope, what are they there for? What is their purpose? Now, they would find their meaning if this earth progresses. Each one, each sun, each star, each object in the sky has its own spiritual or the divine merit in it, and that merit will be discovered by it when this earth flowers out fully. So it will have a kind of a universal implication in terms of the further progress. But Sri Aurobindo says that is futuristic, it will be only kind of an imagination of talking. So he refuses to talk about that, you see. He, in one small paragraph, he disposes it off completely, you see, in the Life Divine. So the earth is a significant center, is an important center. Now, we have said 7 earths, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Mana, etc. All those things are there, 7 earths. So when Savitri is talking of, Sri Aurobindo is speaking of Savitri here, 7 immortal earths, when he's talking of 7 immortal earths, it is in the context of those Bhu, Bhuva, Bhuva, Swaha, etc. All those things you see. These 7 principles of consciousness, physical, mental, physical, vital, mental, supramental, Sat, Chit, Ananda, 7 are there. Now, they are not a new discovery of Savitri. It is not that Sri Aurobindo has discovered them and formulated them for the first time. They are there in the spiritual realizations of the past. The rishis, the Vedic rishis, they knew these 7 principles, all these things. So the 7 earths, 7 immortal earths were known to them. It is not that Sri Aurobindo is declaring the 7 earths for the first time. But the significance of the 7 earths in terms of their relationship with the evolutionary manifestation is what is being asserted for the first time by Sri Aurobindo. People have known the seven earths. Rishis have known the seven earths. They travel through all those places, you see. But the totality of connections of the seven earths with this earth and the possibility of higher manifestation, that is the first thing which has been asserted by Sri Aurobindo. The credit for seven earths goes to the past, but the credit of the seven earths manifesting in this creation is of the future. Why I am saying seven earths were known to the earlier spiritual people? I will give an example, specifically, very beautiful example of from Ramayana. Ramayana. See, you know the story of Ramayana. The stage in which the epic has arrived is something like this. Sita has been abducted by Ravana, and now Rama is in a state in which he has to find out where she is and how to bring her back. You see. So he goes from place to place, and at one place on a mountain, he sees two monkeys sitting there. Sugriva and Hanuman. And they were also in a kind of a plight which was of Rama. In the sense that Rama's wife has been abducted, so also Sugriva's wife has been taken possession of by his brother Vali. So his wife is in possession of Vali. And so there is a kind of a possibility of their coming together and fighting together against the enemy who have abducted their wives. So when they approach each other and talk about these details, then Sugriva says, look, Rama assures Sugriva that he will be able to fight with Sugriva and destroy him and win Sugriva's wife back for him. Now Sugriva has a doubt whether Rama is really strong enough to defeat his brother Vali. Vali is a tremendous Rakshasa, very powerful, and he cannot be easily subdued by anybody at all. And therefore, Sugriva has a doubt whether this man, this lame chap, will be able to fight with Vali and destroy him. You see. So he presents a test for Rama. If you carry out this test successfully, then I will have confidence in you that you will be able to fight with Vali. And then he says, look, there in the forest, there are 7 ebony trees, thick wood, solid, in a row, 7 trees are there. And if you can pierce an arrow through all the 7 trees, then I can assure you, then I will be confident that you have got strength enough to kill my brother Vali. So that is the test he has given, which is a very practical thing, you see, very practical. So 7 trees are there in a line, and he says, shoot an arrow and let it pierce through all the 7 trees, and then I will have confidence in you. Rama says, yes, okay, let us try that thing. And he takes up the bow and arrow and shoots the arrow. The arrow passes straight through all the 7 trees, and after passing through all the 7 trees, it passes through all the 7 earths and then comes back to his quiver. Comes back to his quiver. 7 earth. Swarna Bhumi is called golden earth, 7 earths. Ramayana calls it Swarna Bhumi, 7 earths. So it passes through 7 physical trees here and goes through all the 7 earths and then comes back here. Then Sugriva is satisfied, yes, this man can definitely defeat my brother Vali. And then they form an alliance, and then the whole monkey army is raised, and then they go march to Lanka and defeat Ravana there, you see. So basically the reference to 7 earths there is already in Ramayana itself, 7,000 years ago, at least, if not more than 7,000 years. No, in fact, 10,000 years, roughly. So, 7 earths, 7 immortal earths, is known to the Indian spiritual tradition. And it is these 7 earths which form each element reflecting itself on this physical earth here, you see. Now, hymn to 7 earths. I got here hymn to 7 earths. Together we conquer the mountain. Together we eat the newly prepared food. Together we hasten and greet the luminous child born in the eye of the sun. Though we had wrapped our souls in thickening folds of the darksome night, there were already those countless stars and planets blown by swan wings in expanses of thought, and in a totality of dream vision, a slumber blaze. Our birth and our death had flowed into spirit's surge for a deathless birth. Soon it started raining, not from clouds, but as would flowers from rain tree. And flames and ideas. Rain tree, this is a big huge tree. Flowers from rain tree. And flames and ideas burst as it poured the miracle of a million seeing. We followed the silver moon, drifting again to the sky of the self, and reached a new country full of unhalted hopes. Unhalted hopes. They'll be there. Nobody can stop those hopes. Nobody can. Of the eternal waking in cradle swing of strange green hour of rapture, a consciousness rustled and went bearing wondrous parenthood from infinity to deeper infinity. Climbing up, our parenthood is climbing up. A cry as in a midden laughter of the will of creation pierced the stiff past, and from growing in form gripped all glory in a vast passion of being. Together we pray to the 7 earths, dawning now on the unseen horizon. They are coming up now, appearing, become visible. If the supramental comes, means this really start becoming visible to us, clearer. Together we pray to the 7 earths, dawning now on the unseen horizon. Together we rejoice the materiality blooming in wild pink of our hearts. Yet, into the point of inflection, only rush endless idea shapes of time. And all this ecstasy seems only a flutter of a multitudinous bird on the burning secret, like a fire breaking to 7 seas of trance. The sight-fused word was sought. The sight-fused word, as though the 7 brides clasped a strange lover. Together we adore the great child birthing in the womb of the occult. Together we chant the loud hymn of assertion, to the 7 mothers. So they become our mothers now for one. For this child, there are 7 mothers actually. He is not the son of one mother, 7 mothers. The 7 earths, you see.
Who did this?
Pardon me?
Who did it?
Deshpande. Yeah. Oh, it's not there? No, okay. Yeah.
Did not sign it.
So basically, it is this thing which are the elements of these 7 earths in the transcendent. The divine physical, the divine mental, divine vital, all those things, etc. These are the 3 lower and these are the 3 higher, and the supermind poised as a transcendental creator. Each earth is a progressive bhumi for the corresponding nature of the creation. You see, this is a very vast creation. In Record of Yoga, there is an entry. He has a long chapter there on evolution. Now, evolution, not the biological or the consciousness evolution Earth, but the entire evolution of the creation itself, how it started. That is what he has not described that thing anywhere at all, not even the life divine. It is only in this chapter of the Record of Yoga he has this. We shall see how the thought of God works itself out in life. So, he says the thought of God works out in life. So that you can understand how the thought of God works. Unless you identify yourself with God, you cannot think how He works out. The material world is first formed with the sun as center. The sun being itself only a subordinate star of the great Agni. The physical sun itself is the subordinate star of great Agni, Mahavishnu, in whom he entered the Bhu. That is first physical. Mahavishnu is the Virat Purusha who, as Agni, pours himself out into the forms of sun and star. So all the suns and stars which are there, actually they are the creations of this Mahavishnu pouring himself out. It is the divine fire which is pouring out in his creation. He is Agni Tvashtra, Vishwakarman. He is also Prajapati and Matarishwan. That Agni has got 3 names. These are the 3 primal Purushas of the earth life: Agni Tvashtra, Prajapati, and Matarishwan. All of them soul bodies of Mahavishnu, not the physical, soul bodies of Mahavishnu. Agni Tvashtra, having made the sun out of the apas or waters of being. So actually from water has the sun come, this fire has come. Prajapati, as Surya Savitri, enters into the sun and takes possession of it. He multiplies himself in the Suris or solar gods, who are the souls, the flames of Surya, the Purushas or the female solar energies. Then he creates out of the solar body of Vishnu the planets, each of which successively become the bhumi or place of manifestation for Manu. The mental being, who is the nodus of manifest life existence and the link between life and spirit. Now he says, the present earth in its turn appears to be the scene of life. The present earth appears as the scene of life. Mass being his last theatre. Mass being means Mars was abandoned for some reason, whatever it be, and it got shifted now from Mars to Earth. The present Earth, in its turn, appears as the scene of life. All that thing is here on life, is it? Now, therefore, it should not be such a great wonder, really, that there should be some kind of traces of presence, of whatever you want to call it, of life on Mars. But that does not. Even now it may be, but they are of no meaning. Now Mars is abundant, so no evolution is possible on Mars at all. For whatever reason it be, Mars was tried as a bhumi for evolutionary process. But then it had to be abandoned and it got shifted to Earth. Now what is the chance that Earth will succeed? That is a different matter. Huh? Who? Earth, what are the chances?
She said, who is next? Which planet comes next after Earth? She asked us.
No, no, who is not? This Earth, this physical Earth, planet.
This is the last one.
Well, I mean, the chances are that now it will succeed. There were 6 pralayas earlier. We are living in the 7th creation. And the 7th creation will not be dissolved. Will continue to be there. So we are lucky, you see. Will continue to be there because now the supermind has manifested here in the physical. When it is there, there is no question of it being dissolved. It will be taken up.
Creation, this dissolution, what is meant by creation? Is it this planet or is it our solar system?
No, you see, it is basically the principle of evolution was tried elsewhere, and for whatever reason it be, Mother has said in the agenda, it was tried on the basis of stability, on endurance, on various factors like that, and then it had to be dissolved. It could not be permanent, you see, it had to be dissolved. Now, the stability was the important thing, and that is what she says is going to be tried on Earth, you see. But now with the Mahavishnu himself coming here as an avatar, he is able to bring down the supermind upon Earth. If Mahavishnu can bring down the supermind on Earth, and his supermind is there on Earth, there is no question of Earth being dissolved. In the Bhumi, Agni Tvashta is again the first principle, Madarishwan the second. See, you have to now keep on pondering on this one. Read 100 times and see if you can grasp some essence of it, to see some essence of it. By simply reading here, it's not. It is so dense and so difficult also, you see. Now, Madarishwan was second. Finally, Prajapati appears in the form of 4 Manus. Chatvaro Manavaha. Now, this is what Shyamno describes Chatvaro Manavaha as the principle of avatarhood on earth. Each Mano brings out a certain aspect of the avatar, and it is that avatar who carries the evolution forward. Chatvaro Mano. Not in the physical world at first, but in the mental world, we stand behind the earth life. So this Mano is standing not here on the earth, elsewhere. In that corresponding earth there, he stands there, and from there he exercises pressure and works on this earth. In the same way, you can extend, so to say, that you have the supramental Purusha, supramental being, present there in a corresponding earth, who has to be first created, established there, and it is he then who will come and carry out the evolution further on this earth. This is Chatvara Mano. But in the mental world, which stands behind the earth life, For earth has 7 planes of being. You see, each one corresponding to earth. 7 planes of being, the material of which the scene and events are alone normally visible to the material senses. And I don't think even that we really see fully. He says it is visible to us, but still we don't see. We are still carrying out physical experiments, physics experiments and all that thing. Endless, endless, endless. We are nowhere at the end. The vital of which man's prana kosha is built and to which it is responsive, the mental to which the mana kosha is attached. Now after that will be Vijnana kosha, supramental kosha, earth. The ideal governing of Vijnana kosha, he says Vijnana kosha, Shiva. The beatific, which supports his Ananda kosha, and the dynamic and essential to which he has not yet developed corresponding koshas. He has not yet developed corresponding koshas. So that is the futuristic possibility. But only unformed nimbuses of concrete being. All the gods throw out their lingarupas into these worlds of earth and through them carry on her affairs, her earth's affairs. They throw their aspects on this earth and through those aspects they carry out the work here. For these lingers repeat there in the proper terms of the life upon earth and the conscious movements the gods in their higher existences in the worlds above Bhu. See, we are still talking about Bhu, see. The manos manifested in the manakosha of Bhu bring pressure to bear upon the earth for the manifestation of life and mind. Prajapati as Rudra then begins to form the life upon earth, first in vegetable, then in animal form. Man already exists, but as a god or demigod in Bhuraloka. Next earth, Bhuraloka, of Bhu. Not as man upon earth. There he is Deva, Asura, Rakshasa, Pramatta, Vishacha, Pashu, or as Deva, as he is either Gandharva, Yaksha, Vidyadhara, or any of the Karma Devas. For man is the son of Manu and is assigned his place in Deva and Pradeva, in heaven and in Swarga Bhumis. Thence he descends to earth, and thither from earth he returns. He descends from there and then he returns. All that will be explained afterwards. Yeah. So the class is over. We can go home. When the human body is ready, then he descends upon earth and occupies it. So the Purusha is being prepared there, the body work is going on here. When this body is ready, then he will come and sit here. His manifestation in animal form is always a partial incarnation, as will be seen hereafter, etc. etc.
You miss the very important is not a native of yeah.
Earth, Prithvi or Bhumi on which we live is significant. These are my notes. Earth, Prithvi or Bhumi on which we live is a significant center, an arca spiritual center for the evolutionary growth and manifestation of the possibility of the spirit in this creation. A point of concentration of the effort to achieve the result. Here gather all the forces and here are fought all the battles on earth. And therefore the battles are very fierce, very terrifying, very harsh. But the most significant about this earth is the only place in the entire manifestation where is present the psychic being, the spark of the divine himself. He is the immortal in the mortal, the psychic, he is the immortal in the mortal, taking the mortal forward towards earthly immortality. You don't want heavenly immortality, you want earthly immortality. It is possible only because of this psychic. These seven earths are there to support and promote this immortality. So the entire function of the seven earths is here. So we have spent 1 hour on this on this one sentence. Arisen beneath the triple mystic heaven, the seven immortals were seen sublime, homes of the blessed release from death and sleep, where grief can never come nor any pang, arriving from self-loss and seeking work, alter heaven nature's changeless quietude and mighty posture of eternal calm, is pose of ecstasy immutable. So if you read only Savitri, then you can understand this if you have experience of all that. If you read only, if you want to kind of imagine what is here in Savitri, then you have to understand that Shri Aurobindo explains Shri Aurobindo. Shri Aurobindo explains Shri Aurobindo. Here is Shri Aurobindo, but he has also vast amount of expression here, record. There's something else. You have to catch hints and tips from all those things and then reflect upon what we have here. So in that sense, Shri Aurobindo really explains Shri Aurobindo. In Record of Yoga, he has already put all those things. In Life Divine, elsewhere, all these things are there. So we have to simply gather those things and then try to understand what is here also. See. Of course, Mother's agenda is there also. See. So you have to follow the principle of Shri Aurobindo explains Shri Aurobindo. When we say Shri Aurobindo explains Shri Aurobindo includes Mother. It is understood, you see. Plains lay that same the expanses of God's wide sleep. Now he's talking about those seven earths, how they are climbing up. One above the other, these plains are the seven plains are there, how they are climbing up. The seven ascending slopes of heaven. What the Vedic rishis call the ascending slopes of heaven. Seven plains lay the same the expanses of God's wide sleep. What is wide sleep? That is prajna consciousness, the divine consciousness. Prajna, wisdom, divine wisdom. It is that sleep which is there. You have to be in that. We have got 4 states: Jagrata, Swapna, Prajna, and Turiya beyond that. Jagrata, that is our waking consciousness. Swapna, the dream consciousness behind this is the dream consciousness. Behind the dream consciousness is the Prajna consciousness, sleep, Sushupti. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, and then Turiya. God's wide sleep. Thoughts, wings climbed up towards heaven's vast repose, lost in the blue deeps of immortality. So these are the blue skies, one above the other, blue deeps of immortality, 7 plains. You see. Now, this line is very beautiful. I mean, just in fact, the whole passage is very beautiful from the metrical point of view, from the point of view of poetry. The whole thing, right? Plains lay that same the expanse of God's wide sleep. See how it flows, expands by itself. Plains lay the same the expanse of God's wide sleep, Goes on like that, you see. The stretches of all the seven are kind of stretched like that in the line itself, in the power of expression itself, you have got that length coming out. Plains lay the same the expanse of God's wide sleep. Metrically, plains lay, that is Pandi, strong. The same, second foot, is am, short, long. Third, the expand, short, long, dactyl. Sorry, the anapist. Expand of God's again, and I am. And wide sleep is Pandi. Plains lay the same, the expanse of God's wide sleep. So you see, this line is sandwiched between two spondys, plains lay, and wide sleep. Both spondys are there. That same the expanse of God's wide sleep. Thoughts, wings climbed up towards heaven's vast repose, lost in blue deeps of immortality. Blue deep, the skies here stands for sky, deeps of immortality. A changed earth nature felt the breath of peace because of their coming into contact now with this earth. Air seemed, so what is the change? Changed earth nature. Now he is describing the change. Air seemed an ocean of felicity. An ocean of felicity. You see, air itself is an ocean. See, mixed metaphors, but say how powerful they are. Air and ocean. Air seemed an ocean of felicity, or the couch of the unknown spiritual rest. So air itself is a spiritual rest, couch. A vast quiescence swallowing up all sound into a voicelessness of utter bliss. Even matter brought a close spiritual touch, all thrilled with the immanence of one divine. So even the lowest earth, see, even matter is brought close to spiritual touch. That is the change which earth nature is feeling. The lowest of these earths was still a heaven. Bhu, of those seven, translating into the splendor of things divine, the beauty and brightness of terrestrial scenes. Eternal mountains rich on gleaming ridge, whose lines were graved as on a sapphire plate, and etched the borders of heaven's lustrous noon, climbed like piled temple stairs, and from their head of topless meditation heard below the approach of a blue pilgrim multitude, and listened to a great arriving voice of the white travel hymn of timeless seas. Eternal mountains rich on gleaming ridge. So you can imagine now, whose lines were graved as on a sapphire plate, as if the whole thing is a sapphire plate, the sky, and each line is engraved, and etched the border of heaven's lustrous noon, climbed like piled temple stairs. How these mountains are climbing up, like temple stairs. Meenakshi temple, Madurai. You see how the Gopuram rises, majestic, absolutely. Piled temple stairs, and from their heads of topless meditation heard below, from there, what is heard below? The approach of blue pilgrim multitude. Because the temple, therefore there are the pilgrims moving to the temple. Topless meditation heard below, the approach of a blue pilgrim multitude, and listen to a great arriving voice. They are listening around the voice coming from above. This earth and this, they are now in contact with it. Or wide travel hymn of timeless sea. Well, now you keep on pondering. I will not. Yeah. A chanting crowd from mountain bosom slipped past branches fragrant with a sigh of flower, hurrying to sweetnesses with rebel leaves. The murmurous rivers of felicity divinely rippled, honey voiced desires, mingling the sister eddies of delight, then widening to a pace of calm lipped muse, down many glimmered estuaries of dream, went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. I don't think I will be able to explain that. Sheer poetry. You have to just keep on listening to the sound. Chanting crowd from mountain bosom sleep, past branches fragrant with the sigh of flower, hurrying to sweetnesses with revel leaf, the murmurous rivers of felicity, divinely rippled, honey voiced estuaries, honey voiced desire, mingling their sister eddies of delight, then widening to a pace of calm lipped abuse, down many glimmered estuaries of dream, went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. On a brink held of senseless ecstasy, senseless does not mean meaningless. You see, it doesn't mean that foolish. It means there are no senses. It's not the sense which is faculty. Held of senseless ecstasy, and guarding an eternal poise of thought sat sculptured soul, gleaming by rivers of sound, dreaming by rivers of sound, in changeless attitudes of marble bliss. So people are there sitting, rishis or whatever you call it, on the banks of rivers and meditating, on a brink of senseless ecstasy, and guarding an eternal poise of thought sat sculptured. So they are as if kind of, see, the temple tower is there, so all these figures are sculptured there, you see. All gods and goddesses are there on the temple tower. Sculptured soul, dreaming by rivers of sound. The sound is going, the traffic is going, pilgrims are there, and they are sitting there in chainless attitudes of marble bliss. So these are the statues of marble sitting there on it. Around her, Savitri. This her is for Savitri. Around her lived the children of God's day in an unspeakable felicity. See, this word felicity has already occurred 3 or 4 times in small little passages, see. In an unspeakable felicity, a happiness lost. All is equivalent. Happiness, felicity, gladness, we have seen so many times. Blissful, you see, in this sentence itself, you have got felicity, you have got happiness, you have got glad, you have got bliss. In one single sentence, all these things you see. Around her lived the children of God's day in an alien. Now, around her lived the children of God's day. Well, that is the character of the beings in the immortal world. But they are children, they are not adults. They had to become adult by having relationship with earth and grow. Lived children of God. That is why around her, that is the job of Savitri, that these children become adult.
It's not in the meaning that God is the father of this.
They will have, they will in the process of growth, evolution, etc., they will become fully adult, they will express themselves all the potential. In an unspeakable felicity, a happiness, of course, because they're children, therefore there is unspeakable felicity, there is happiness, there is gladness, there is bliss. But that felicity, that happiness, that gladness, that bliss had to be now in the adulthood also, not in the childhood alone. Around the deathless nations moved and spoke, souls of a luminous celestial joy, faces of stark beauty, limbs of the molded ray. In cities cut like gems of conscious stone, and wonderful pastures, and on gleaming coal, bright farms were seen, eternity's luminous tribes. The new creation, new possibilities that there, right? Above her rhythmic goddess whirled the spear, wrapped mobile fixities here blindly sought by the huge erring orbits of our stars. Ecstatic voices moved at hearing's chords. Each moment found a music or its own. So that is not always possible. Each music does not find its own note. Each moment found a music all its own. Songs thrilled of birds upon unfading boughs. Unfading boughs. So the trees are there, immortal trees, and the birds are also immortal and are singing on those trees. Songs thrilled of birds upon unfading boughs, the colors of whose plumage had been caught from the rainbow of imagination's wings. So imagination is a bird, because it's talking of birds. Imagination is a bird, and it is winging. The wings are colorful, and from those colors is this made rainbow. And from those colors are all these things here. Songs, colorful song, immortal fragrance. So he has shown colors, songs, sound, music, sight, then fragrance. Immortal fragrance packed the quivering breeze in grow the stained moved bosoms and trembling depths, the million children of the dying spring bloom, pure, unnumbered stars of hued delight, nesting for shelter in the emerald sky. Fairy flower masses looked with laughing eyes. A dancing chaos, and at a distant sea, multicolored sea, at a distant bright, luminous, eternized to heaven's ever wakeful side, the crowding petal glow of marble stain, which float across the curtained lids of dream. Harmonies feel. This is what Savitri is now seeing. You see, closest to earth, all that. In other words, those are the possibilities which are in the immediate reach of this earth. Immortal harmonies filled her listening ear, a great spontaneous utterance of the highs of Titan wings of rhythmic grandeur born, poured from some deep spiritual heart of sound, deep spiritual heart of sound, strange trembling with secrets of the God. So that is what the future music should be. Even though he has written about future poetry, he has given the example of future poetry by giving us Savitri. What about future music?
Future music comes from there.
We are waiting for the future music, future dance, future sculpture, future music. All the things are waiting there, you see. Poured from some deep, but all of them had to come from, if the sound is coming from the deep spiritual heart of sound, the spiritual heart of, it is from there that this music is coming. Same way, from some deep spiritual heart of sight will come the image. From some deep heart of meaning will come the word, the poet. So all of them will come actually from some deep spiritual heart of sound, sight, sense. All these things are sound, music. Sight, images, painting, graphical art. Sense, words, books, written things. Sight, sound, sense, all of them had to come. They will come. They had to come from some deep spiritual heart. So the future poetry has to depend upon this. Future music, future art, future gardens, whatever you want to call them, they have to come. You see. Future landscape, future architect, strange, trembling. A spirit wandered happily in the wind. A spirit brooded in the leaf and stone. You see, that is what happened in the earth. A spirit wandered happily in the wind. What a beautiful line, no? A spirit wandered happily in the wind. A spirit brooded in the leaf and stone. The voices are thought conscious instruments. So instruments are conscious of what they are, thought conscious. So when you are not playing just a guitar or this instrument or that piano or something, that instrument itself is conscious of the thought which is there behind it. The voices are thought conscious instrument. Along the living verge of silence they betrayed, and from some deep, a wondrous tongue of thing, unfathomed, inexpressible, chanting rose, translating into voice of the unknown. So that is what the music, the future art will do. The voice of the unknown. It is that way, you see. Plains lay that same, the expanses of God's wide sleep. Now he's talking about those seven earths, how they are climbing up. One above the other, these plains are, the seven plains are there, how they are climbing up. The seven ascending slopes of heaven. What the Vedic rishis call the ascending slopes of heaven. Seven plains lay the same, the expanses of God's wide sleep. What is wide sleep? That is prajna consciousness, the divine consciousness. Prajna, wisdom, divine wisdom. It is that sleep which is there. You have to be in that. We have got four states: Jagrata, Swapna, Prajna, and Turiya beyond that. Jagrata, that is our waking consciousness. Swapna, the dream consciousness, behind this is the dream consciousness. Behind the dream consciousness is the Prajna consciousness, sleep, Sushupti. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti, and then Turiya. God's wide sleep. Thoughts, wings climbed up towards heaven's vast repose, lost in the blue deeps of immortality. So these are the blue skies, one above the other. Blue deeps of immortality, seven plains. You see. Now, this line is very beautiful. I mean, just in fact, the whole passage is very beautiful from the metrical point of view, from the point of view of poetry. The whole thing, right? Plains lay that same expanse of God's wide sleep. See how it flows, expands by itself. Plains lay the same expanse of God's wide sleep. Goes on like that, you see. The stretches of all the seven are kind of stretched like that in the line itself, in the power of expression itself, you have got that length coming out. Plains lay the same expanse of God's wide sleep. Metrically, plains lay, that is Pandi, strong. The same, second foot, is I am, short, long. Third, the expanse, short, long, dactyl. Sorry, the anapist. Expand of God's again, and I am. And wide sleep is Pandi. Plains lay the same expanse of God's wide sleep. So you see, this line is sandwiched between two spondys, plains lay, and wide sleep. Both spondys are there. That same expanse of God's wide sleep. Thoughts, wings climbed up towards heaven's vast repose, lost in blue deeps of immortality. Blue deep, the skies here stands for sky, deeps of immortality. A changed earth nature felt the breath of peace because of their coming into contact now with this earth. Air seemed, so what is the change? Changed earth nature. Now he is describing the change. Air seemed an ocean of felicity. An ocean of felicity. You see, air itself is an ocean. See, mixed metaphors, but say how powerful they are. Air and ocean. Air seemed an ocean of felicity, or the couch of the unknown spiritual rest. So air itself is a spiritual rest, couch. A vast quiescence swallowing up all sound into a voicelessness of utter bliss. Even matter brought a close spiritual touch, all thrilled with the immanence of one divine. So even the lowest earth, see, even matter is brought close to spiritual touch. That is the change which earth nature is feeling. The lowest of these earths was still a heaven. Bhu, of those seven, translating into the splendor of things divine, the beauty and brightness of terrestrial scenes. Eternal mountains rich on gleaming ridge, whose lines were graved as on a sapphire plate, and etched the borders of heaven's lustrous noon, climbed like piled temple stairs, and from their head of topless meditation heard below the approach of a blue pilgrim multitude, and listened to a great arriving voice of the white travel hymn of timeless seas. Eternal mountains rich on gleaming ridge. So you can imagine now, whose lines were graved as on a sapphire plate, as if the whole thing is a sapphire plate, the sky, and each line is engraved, and etched the border of heaven's lustrous noon, climbed like piled temple stairs. How these mountains are climbing up, like temple stairs, Meenakshi temple, Madurai. You see how the Gopuram rises, majestic, absolutely. Piled temple stairs, and from their heads of topless meditation heard below, from there, what is heard below? The approach of blue pilgrim multitude. Because the temple, therefore there are the pilgrims moving to the temple, moving to the temple. Topless meditation heard below, the approach of a blue pilgrim multitude, and listen to a great raving voice. They are listening around the voice coming from above. This earth and this, they are now in contact with it. Or wide travel hymn of timeless sea. Well, now you keep on pondering. I will not. Yeah. A chanting crowd from mountain bosom slipped past branches fragrant with a sigh of flower, hurrying to sweetnesses with rebel leaves. The murmurous rivers of felicity, divinely rippled, honey voiced desires, mingling the sister eddies of delight, then widening to a pace of calm lipped muse, down many glimmered estuaries of dream, went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. I don't think I will be able to explain that. Ship poetry. You have to just keep on listening to the sound. Chanting crowd from mountain bosom slave, past branches fragrant with the sigh of flower, hurrying to sweetnesses with revel leaf, the murmurous rivers of felicity, divinely rippled, honey voiced estuaries, honey voiced desire, mingling their sister eddies of delight, then widening to a pace of calm lipped abuse, down many glimmered estuaries of dream, went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. On a brink held of senseless ecstasy, senseless does not mean meaningless. You see, it doesn't mean that foolish. It means there are no senses. It's not the sense which is faculty. Hell of senseless ecstasy, and guarding an eternal poise of thought sat sculptured soul, gleaming by rivers of sound, dreaming by rivers of sound, in changeless attitudes of marble bliss. So people are there sitting, rishis or whatever you call it, on the banks of rivers and meditating, on a brink of senseless ecstasy, and guarding an eternal poise of thought sat sculptured. So they are as if kind of, see, the temple tower is there, so all these figures are sculptured there, you see. All gods and goddesses are there on the temple tower. Sculptured soul, dreaming by rivers of sound. The sound is going, the traffic is going, pilgrims are there, and they are sitting there in chainless attitudes of marble bliss. So these are the statues of marble sitting there on it. A climber on the invisible stair of sound, music not with these few and striving steps, aspire that wander upon transient string, but change is ever new, uncounted known, in a passion of unforeseen discovery, and kept its old, unforgotten ecstasy, a growing treasure in the mystic heart. It has to grow in that way. Now, we have only 7 notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni. In Indian, only we got 7. But there are uncounted notes, new uncounted notes. So you can imagine how rich the music will be.
You cannot imagine that there is more than 7.
Yeah.
Already.
So we are already ecstatic with 7 notes, but now imagine if there are uncounted notes and all of them are playing. All of them are playing. So I think that will be a super harp. Super harp. And possibly a super harp made with laser strings, laser beams. I showed you last time, no, laser beam. Each light beam is forming a chord, you see. You strike here, one note, one strike here. You can have therefore countless strings and therefore countless notes for each. So you have to strive for that now. I think Swaram in Auroville should should look into the possibility. You got a Swaram, no, in Auroville? Aurelio.
Yeah, exactly. Swara.
Yeah, you will look into it.
Yeah. New uncounted notes. I want to hear them.
Aspire that wander upon transients. So what we have are only transient strings. Yeah, when you play our string, they break. They cannot bear the tension. Our strings. Music not with these few and striving steps aspired that wander upon transient string, but change is ever new, uncounted notes in a passion of unforeseen discovery. What are these uncounted notes for? What is this music for? Each music has to be a discovery. We have got 7 notes. Are we at least using the 7 notes to make constantly new discoveries? We are not. We are not really even exploiting the 7 notes which are there with us. Unforeseen discovery and kept its old and forgotten ecstasy, a growing treasure in the mystic heart. A consciousness that yearned through every cry of unexplored attraction and desire. It found and searched again the unsatisfied deep, hunting as if in some deep secret heart to find some lost or missed felicity, to find some lost or missed felicity. Find some missed felicity. 7 gods are there. There are possibilities of many types of musical things, felicities coming out. We have missed them. We have not yet discovered them fully. Exploited even our own potential in the fullness. Hunting as if some deep secret. See how many times this word deep has occurred already, you see, in this small passage. You see, many times. Yet it doesn't clash, you see. The poetry says that, you see. To find some lost or missed felicity. In those far lapsing symphonies, she could hear. This is important again. Yes, you had new discoveries, you have got countless strings, you have got countless notes and whatnot, you have made new discoveries. But then you had to have also an ear which can respond to those new discoveries, to notes, not this ear alone. This ear is not sufficient. When he says she could hear, means her auditory faculty is sharp enough to catch the possibilities of all those notes, the expressions of those notes. We could see thousands of figures, our eyes should be able to see them. They are to open. In those far lapsing symphonies, she could hear, breaking through enchantments of the ravished sense, the lyric voice of a divine soul. What does she see here now? The lyric voice of a divine soul, with spume and laughter, tempting with proud, the charm of innocent Circean eye, adventures without danger beautiful. It lands where silent wonder sings its lute from rhythmic rocks in ever foaming sea. So this is of course a clear reference to Odyssey. Odyssey. Odysseus arrived at the Circean island. The charm of innocent Circean isle, you see, they look innocent, but the charm is such that you get attracted and you get trapped. Now, this man, when the ship was going past this island there, he said that you please tie me on a mast very tightly and keep my ears open. And he asked all the crew members there to plug their ears with wax so that they could not hear the music. You see, if they hear the music, they will get trapped and get lost. This man wanted to hear the music, but not get lost. Therefore, he asked them to tie on a mast. Miss Fume, the charm of innocence. So he wanted to hear that music, what that kind of music is. The charm of innocent Circean adventures without danger, beautiful. So he had that danger there. Odysseus had that danger there. It's a beautiful adventure. But here, now in this world, there is no danger. Savitri is going, she is listening to that music. She has gone far, far beyond Odysseus. She need not be tied to a mast to listen to that music. The charm of innocent isle, adventures without danger, beautiful, in lands where siren wonder. So that is the sirens are singing their music. Wonder. It's lures, so they lure, they attract. From rhythmic rocks, from the rocks, in ever foaming seas. So the whole thing is. So this is a complete description. You see, it is also, in fact, the whole thing, whole sentence is capitalizing on Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey. It is a long drawn simile also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. It is called Homeric simile. Homeric simile. A long drawn simile is called Homeric simile. So this is one very beautiful example of Homeric simile in Savitri. Homer describes his similes in a very elaborate manner. Very elaborate manner.